Hello students, welcome to lecture 3 on Introduction to Microcontroller Atmega 328P. In lecture 2, we studied about the block diagram of Atmega 328P and studied some important blocks like the arithmetical logical unit, the program counter, the instruction register and decoder, and one important register we studied was status register, and importance of each bit was elaborated. In today's lecture, we'll study some more important features or the blocks of the Atmega. So, and also the registers which are associated with that particular blocks. So, let us begin. Now, coming to one important block which is a stack pointer. Basically, stack is a type of temporary memory or wherein variables and addresses or maybe subroutines are stored. This stack is effectively allocated in the SRAM. SRAM is the static memory, and wherein the stack or the size of the stack depends upon the size of the SRAM. So what is stack? If we want to say that it is used basically for storage of temporary data. Now whenever we are storing a data, we need an instruction when we write a data. So the instruction which is required is push, and when we want to read that data or information, the instruction required is pop. So there is a type of basically a type of memory stack pointer register which tells the present location of the stack. So stack point, where is it, or the address you may say. So what does that mean? Let us take an example of stack pointer and this to explain. See, if suppose we have 10 plates and we have to pile them one above the other, so the plate and when the plate which has been kept inside first, obviously it will be coming out last. So it means that if we write or we store some data on the stack, the data which has been written first will be able to retrieve it at the last. So this is the concept of stack. So the instructions which are used for writing and reading of the stack are push and pop, respectively. Now coming to the most important part of the our microcontroller, that are the input output ports. Now what are these input output ports? If you must be remembering that we have discussed that the Atmega has 23 input output pins. Now these input output pins are used or basically divided into three ports: port B, port C, and port D. Port B has 8 pins, that is 8 bits, port C 7, and port D 8. Now why do we need input output pins? For let us take an example that if I want to build a program to control the on and off of an LED, it means I want the data should be, or the data flow should be like from the microcontroller towards the LED. So I mean I want to give data as output. The microcontroller should output data. In that case, the input output pins will be working as output pins. Similarly, if I want that maybe we have to fetch some digital data in, so whenever in the microcontroller, inside the microcontroller, and process upon it, so what will be done is automatically we have to give the data in. That means the 23 pins, out of some the 23 pins, some pins have to be configured as input pins. So we'll see how to control this input output thing of our microcontroller. So the basically with these particular 23 input output pins, there are three registers associated which control the pins status. So what are these three registers? We'll see one by one. Before proceeding with the registers, I'll make one thing sure that, so for example, you can see that in port B we have 8 bits, means the port B consists of 8 input output pins, you may say. It is not necessary that all the 8 pins belonging to this port B should be configured together as input or output. It is possible according to your requirement. If you require 5 pins to work as input and 3 pins to work as output, it is possible. So I mean to say is each and every pin of the microcontroller functions independently. Now we'll proceed with the registers part. What is this registers? The 3 input output address locations are allocated for the each port. One for each for the data register, port X, data DDRX, and pin X. What are these 3 registers? These 3 registers are 8-bit registers, and we'll see how this register are important to us. DDRX, port X, and pin X. This X represent the numbering of the letter for the port. So if suppose we are using port B, then the register will be called as DDRB. Then if we are referring to the maybe the fourth pin of the port B, then it will be DDRB4. That means it is the N, that is it should come after this X, represents the bit number. So we'll see the importance of each and every register now. Mind you again that this TDRX, PortX, PinX are the registers which are associated with this 23 input output pins. Now, what is the DDRX? DDRX is data direction register. So, as the name suggests, this register is used to decide the direction of data. The direction of data means if we are taking the data in the microcontroller, that means the pins will be working as input pins. If we are giving the data out from the microcontroller, that means the pins will be working as output. So if we want to configure the pins as input, we have to write 0 in the DDRX register. If we want to configure the pins as output, then we'll write 1 to the DDRX register. See, here it is written. Each physical port or pin of a port is configured independently, and thus a port can have some of its pin configured as input and some of configured as outputs. This I specified previously only, that if even if the port, suppose if we are talking about port B and it has 8 pins, if we wish to have 5 pins as input and 3 pins as output, it is very much possible. Now here a small example is given, that suppose if I want to make all the pins of port D as input pins, then my register DDR, the bits corresponding to DDRD will be 000. If I want to make all the pins of port D as output, then it will be 111. And if we want, for example, that the lower nibble, that means the lower for of port B as output and higher as input, then the then the bits of DDRB will be 00111, so on. So to sum up, we can say that this register, data direction register, is used to specify whether the pins will be working as input or output. Let us take an example, again the same example, that if we want that the to control the on and off of an LED. So if on and off of an LED, so first of all, what has to be done is we have to, for example, I want to control the on and off of 4 LEDs. So out of the 423 pins, 4 pins I have to configure as output. Why output? Because the data will be flowing from the microcontroller to the LED. That means the microcontroller is outputting the data. So if I'm using 4 LED program, so out of the 23 pins, any four pins I need to configure as output. And for that, I need to configure this DDRX register and the corresponding pins as 111. Now this register only specifies or only makes sure that the pins are configured as input and output. It does not outputs or takes in the input. For that we have different registers. So now comes the next register, that is PINX, that is port input register, port input pins register. This register stores the logic value, the current state, or the physical pins of the port X. It is used to read the data for the port pins. Now, what does that mean? See, if I want to read some data. It may be digital or it may be analog. Let us say for now, we'll talk about digital data. I want to read the state of a particular switch, maybe. Then the switch has two states, either 1 or 0. I want the microcontroller to read that. So I have to give the output of that particular switch to my microcontroller. That means the microcontroller will be receiving data. So it will be receiving data, so I have to configure one pin of the microcontroller as input pin using the ddrx register. Now once whenever you read a data, obviously you have to read that data and you have to store in a particular variable. So if I'm using you can see here an example is taken to read data from port A. If I'm using all the 8 pins as input, then ddra all is made 000, and using this pin A, what will happen is whatever is the what do we say, data or this available at port A will be stored in the variable x here. So this is the importance of this PIN-X register. So I can say that PIN-X is used when the pins are configured as input. Now comes the next, that is the PORT-X register. The PORT-X has two purposes. First we'll look upon the first purpose, that is to output the data. Again we'll take our same example that I have to control then on and off of 4 LEDs. So first 4 LEDs if I say, then using the DDRX I will set 4 bits as 1. Now if I want the LEDs to be on first, then using this port register, I have to write one in that particular correspond one to that particular pin. Okay, so as I write one in the port register, what will happen is one will be outputted at that particular pin and my LED will be switched on. Now if I want now my LED to be switched off, then what has to be done is, then this in this port register you have to write the corresponding bit as 0. So what will happen, automatically the LED will be receiving 0, so automatically it will be switched off. So to sum up, I can say that DDRX is used to specify the either the pins will be used as input or output. PINX is used whenever you are taking data in and you have to store that in a variable. And PORTX will be used for two purposes. We are seeing the first purpose now. The first purpose is to output the data. So in case of LED, when we want the LED to be on, we'll write 1, and if it is we want the LED to be off, then we'll write 0. So on. Now we'll look upon what is the next important function. This is the major function is to output the data. The secondary purpose is basically to activate and deactivate the pull-up resistors. Now before proceeding with this pull-up resistors part, we'll just go in short about this pull-up resistor, not going into much detail. See, you all must be knowing that the microcontroller is obviously made up of logic gates, and the either the output of the logic gate should be maybe 0 or 1, that is 0 or 5, 1 or 5, anything. Now suppose you can see in the figure that we have a logic gate, and a and b are the input to the logic gate and q is the output. Here is the vcc and here is the ground. Now if suppose the a and the b switches are open, then in that case what will happen is the input, there is no input going to the logic gates. So what will happen is there is a possibility that other than we want the output should be going the input that should be going to a and b should be either 0 or it should be 5. Now when the switches are closed, automatically it will be connected to the ground, and by default the input of a and b will be 0, so the logic gate will be functioning properly. Now the second condition is if the switches are open, what we assume that A and B, their value should be 5. Now, if their value should be 5, then it should be connected here. And if it is not connected here, it implies that when these two switches are open, then this A and B can attain any value between 0 to 5 volts. So this is basically a float condition. So this is obviously a not acceptable circuit. So moving on to the next circuit. What is the next circuit is, where the A and B, they are connected to the 5 volts. So what happens is, when these switches are open, what will be the output, what will be the value of A and B? It will be 5. So our logic gate will be functioning properly. But now here a different problem arises. When we close the switches, this will be connected like this. So now what is happening, our 5 and ground, they are getting short circuited. So this is much bad condition than the previous condition. So this circuit is also discarded. So here comes the next register, next circuit. What is done is, two registers are added here, and these registers, they are called as pull up resistor. So what will happen is, when the switches are closed, when the switches are closed, the ground and the 5, they will not be short circuited due to the presence of these resistors. So these resistors, they are called as pull up resistors. Now going back to the pull up resistors, so we were discussing that the POTX register, when its first function is obviously to write the output data, and its second function is to either activate or deactivate the pull up resistor. Now why the second function is, now if when the pins are used as input pins, or that means when the pins are configured as input, then obviously the POTX register doesn't have any work. Then it is used to configure the pull up resistors. So if we have to activate the pull up resistor, then it is written as 1, and we have to, if we have to deactivate, then it is set to 0. So basically we can say that the function of the POTX register has two functions. When the pins are used, first function, primary function is to output the data when the pins are used as output, and to and the secondary things is to activate or deactivate the pull up resistors. If you want to go into much detail of this, what is this word tri-stated, you can go through this particular slide, in which the condition of high tri-state is mentioned. Basically tri-state is nothing but a high impedance state. We'll not go into much detail for now. We'll stop here for today. And summing up, we studied about the stack pointer, the input output ports, and the three registers, that is the DDRX, PORTX, and PINX registers. Thank you so much.